Hi, how's it going? Today I'd like to show you some of my Beatle bootleg on vinyl. Starting off with this one, the deck of tapes, Pete Best. This is the one they recorded on New Year's Day, 1962, and they famously got turned down by the Decca label. And these are the songs they recorded that day. They were sort of told, they were turned down at the audition and told that guitar bands were going out of fashion, but they were probably just being kind, because he did sign up Brian Poole and the Tremolos on the same day, I believe, so I think they'll say they're just being kind by saying the guitar bands are on the way out. So luckily for us though, they did get turned down by Decca, and they moved on to Parlophone and EMI and George Martin later on in the year, so we were probably better off. Now this album came out in '79, and it came to me by way of a trade, and I sort of regret that now, because the record I traded it for was Paul McCartney's Thrillington album, which I bought when it first came out in '78. So really I would have been better off with the Thrillington album, because value wise that's probably 10 times more than this one, but still, you live and learn. So I could have picked this up many a time over the years, and so instead of having Thrillington I've got the Decca sessions. Never mind. Anyway, moving on. Another fine album. This is Vancouver '64. This is a double album. Side 1 has got the press conference, along with side 2 and radio coverage of the concert. Side 3 of the vinyl, we've got radio coverage carrying on, and the concert, which comes off the PA system. There we go, there's the songs there. Normal gig listing for the Beatles from this period. Excellent record of Beatlemania, this one, because it's got the interviews, press conferences, radio coverage and the actual concert. So this is an excellent album. Vancouver '64. Moving on to still in '64, we've got back in '64 at the Hollywood Bowl, with an unlikely cover, but still that was the case of bootlegs. Many came like this in those days. It's just a stick-on picture cover on a plain cardboard sleeve, and more often than not just a plain black vinyl with no label on the vinyl at all. So turning it over, we've got nothing on the back. It is the same concert as the officially released Hollywood Bowl, but this came out a few years previous to that one. So this was a good addition to anybody's collection previous to 1977, when the official one was released. Moving on, we've got an album called Johnny and the Moondogs Silver Days, featuring 17 unreleased classic tracks from the master tapes. Now it's got a picture of Pete Best on the front, but it's mainly the four Beatles as we know them. Mixture of radio tracks and live tracks. The live ones is from a TV film called Beatles Drop In Sweden. Excellent quality. The usual songs there from that period. An excellent album, that one. Now we have A File Under the Beatles. Another excellent album. We've got Come and Get It, Shake, Rattle and Roll, which was live from the Abbey Road, from the Let It Be sessions. I think the first time Leave My Kitten Alone was appeared on a bootleg, as was If You've Got Troubles, which was sung by Ringo, and it was intended for the Rubber Soul album but didn't quite make the cut on that one. It's not a very good song really. I can understand why that wasn't released. Then we got That Means a Lot, which was Paul's song, which he gave away to PJ Proby. And we got sort of One After 909, Get Back, I Dig a Pony, Goodbye. So some nice songs there really from the time. When this came out, there were a lot of these songs first time out. So not bad. I think this is from 1983, that one. File Under the Beatles. And this one, another quite famous one really, Beatles broadcasts. Again, it's BBC recordings. Popular the Beatles, and so on. I've got the usual glare there, sorry. Soldier of Love, things like that were great to hear first time round. Clarabella, another good one. All good songs when you first heard these radio broadcasts. That one's, yeah, some nice pictures on the back. I think these pictures of John and Paul there are from the TV programme, The Music of Lennon McCartney, if I remember rightly. And a few various other photographs there. This one's from 1980. Now, going on to a rather poor one now, really. This is called the Fab Raver Show. It's a strange one, this one. Some strange songs on this one. It's some bootlegs are very, very good, some are very, very bad, and this is a very, very bad one. Somebody who owned the album before me has written the songs on the cover there. So you can see there's various mixtures of songs there. Get Back sessions and so on. Now the side 2, starting with I Should Have Known Better, that's just a direct recording from the Hard Day's Night film. So not too good, that one. And that track there called Candle Burns, that was actually a track what was called Peace of Mind, which supposedly was found, the recording was found in an Apple waste paper bin outside, and supposed to be the Beatles, but no way, it's not the Beatles. So that's Candle Burns as Peace of Mind. It's just a piece of, like I say, it was in a trash can, so a piece of trash really. So a strange one really, this one, Fab Raver Show. Just very poor. And moving on to something slightly better, we have Off-White, which you would suspect as being the White Album sessions, and so it is. It's the Isha sessions, where George, Paul and John all gathered at George's house at Isha, Kinfon's bungalow, where he lived at that time, and recorded a few demos for the forthcoming White Album. And most of these now are included on the recent 50th anniversary of the White Album, but obviously this one came out a few years before. A good quality cover. Covers were getting better, probably in the 80s, 90s time. Proper printed cover. Good album to own at the time. So it's all officially released now, so but still nice to own these sort of albums. This one is just a 12-inch single really. It's What a Shame Mary Jane Had to Paint the Party. What's the New Mary Jane? A couple of versions. Got version 1 and version 2. Beatles there with their crew cuts. Not really a crew cut, but a bit of messing around the photograph there. Well, a strange, a good one really, this one, but I was glad to own this when I first bought this, because you didn't really hear What's the New Mary Jane that much in those days, so it was a good one to own. And this one is Come Back, which is Let It Be, Get Back album. I think this is one of the first ever bootlegs ever. I think the first one was Bob Dylan, one of Bob Dylan's in the late 60s. I think what happened with this one, playing back, nothing on the back. What happened, I think when John went to Toronto to play live piece in Toronto, I think he took an acetate with him of the Get Back album, which was mixed by Glyn Johns. I think he gave it to somebody, probably a DJ, and it was actually played on the radio late '69, and then it was sort of bootlegged after that. So this really is, I think, the first Beatles bootleg, and one of the first bootlegs what appeared. So yeah, that's the one. Let's Come Back. Now we've got one called In Abbey Road, which boasts of 14 previously unreleased Beatles tracks. Now what this one is, it's the Abbey Road show from 1983, I think it was. And somebody got one of these little portable recording devices stuck in his bag and recorded the show, and those are the songs there. Interesting to hear for those people who never got to see this show, because it must have been quite good at the time, listening to Beatles songs in the studio. Moving on, we've got the Beatles Black album. Show that there. A bit like the White album, only it's in black. It's a triple album, this one. Let It Be Sessions. Fairly well known album. I think I bought this one in 82 or 81 or thereabout. I think it cost me £20. It's a triple album. It also came with a poster, which is quite good for them days. Very similar to the White album poster in appearance. There's some dialogue on the back. Dialogue from the film, or dialogue from the recordings. So quite interesting to read that. So very similar to the White album. Well, it's in black, of course. There we have the Beatles Black album. Moving on from the White album type of cover to the Please Please Me type of cover. This was the Get Back with Let It Be and 11 other songs. This is one of the Glyn Johns mix of the Get Back album, which eventually became Let It Be. And of course it's a well-known story that they were going to copy the style of the first album, Please Please Me. So they were doing a full circle. But unfortunately it didn't work out that way. This is what it would have looked like, and I quite like the idea of this album. It's a pity it wasn't done like this really, but things change, so it didn't work out. So the back cover is similar to Let It Be. So it's a new phase Beatles album, but this time it's saying produced by George Martin. And there's the songs there with Teddy Boy, which Paul recorded on his first album. It's got Don't Let Me Down on, which I think Don't Let Me Down should have been on the Let It Be album, but it wasn't. That was always a shame, really. So there we have the Beatles Get Back. I've got another one now called The Beatles Almost Grown, for the Let It Be outtakes and sessions. Version of All Things Must Pass there, from George's first album. This is from 1983, Almost Grown. Now we've got a counterfeit album. This is the American version of the Beatles Fan Club Christmas album, where they assemble all the fan club Christmas messages from 63 to 69, put them all on an album. This is the American version. It is a counterfeit, it's not the original, unfortunately. I was in the UK fan club in the late 60s, and I managed to get the last 3 flexes, but for some reason I never received the 12-inch record. Didn't even know about it till a few years later, so I've missed out on the album. It was called From Them to You. That Christmas album was. Now we've got another Christmas album. This is just a bootleg copy, trademark of quality. Same track, same Christmas songs on there. Of course, the Christmas albums were released in a box not so long ago. So these were always good to own back in the day, because to buy the actual singles, the fan club singles, are quite expensive. So it was always good to have this sort of thing. So finally, I've got one here called Rough Notes. It's a compilation, really. There's a few various tracks on there. We've got Hand on the Buns, which is Band on the Run. It's a rehearsal session, vocal overdub from 73. Then we've got a few Let It Be outtakes. I think that one there, I Need You, can't quite remember what that one is. It's not the I Need You from Help. That's quite possibly not even the Beatles. I can't remember that one now. So we've got a few BBC tracks there. And on side 2 we've got Ding Dong Ding Dong, which is George's track. Basic tracks in a quick mix. Dark Horse, George again. Roll It Over, which is a Harrison Clapton studio outtake. Rock on the Line, that's Rock Island Line, that's George Harrison and Paul Simon. 1985, that's Wings, demo, early working version. Now that's a song that appeared on Band on the Run, of course. Then we've got Wildlife, which is from an alternative studio version from Paul and Wings, which got originally from 71. Honey Downs remix version, and then From Us to You, that's a theme from the BBC series complete version. And so there we have it. There's Rough Notes, and that's a selection of my bootleg collection on vinyl. I've got loads more on CD and loads more on cassette tape, and I just thought I'd show the vinyl today, and hope you enjoyed sitting through this with me, and we'll talk with you again soon. wish everybody to take care, and bye for now.